Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Capricorn energy. And we're going to get out the cards to see what the story is. And then we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people are at different emotional maturity levels in their Capricorn energy. High vibe Capricorn is growing up and maturing yourself and freeing yourself from things that manipulate you, which can be your more immature, prideful, egotistical, defensive, working through past pain and heartbreak, self-limiting beliefs, being more manipulated by the world and other people. And some people are still caught up in a lot of those things. I view, what do we have here on the table? Well, we have the Emperor, but I view the King of Pentacles as high vibe Capricorn energy. And that would be that male or female, you are presenting yourself as a person who has learned certain lessons in life, that you are a more stable, grounded, mature person, motivated and inspired by love. And there can be a lot of people in the world who try to present themselves as that's the truth of who they are, but it's not. You know, they might have money or status or image or be in relationships or be married or have children, but they could still be more shadowy in some regard. And sometimes, you know, if we're too caught up in people or what they look like or whatever, we kind of get caught up in the illusion. Sometimes we're not seeing the truth of some people. And some people have already went through some things like that, and they have learned the lesson about people like that. Let's go see what's going on in Capricorn energy right now. Oh, and we all tap into Capricorn energy, so Capricorn can kind of be what we view as victorious and successful also. Are we more about ourselves or these things of the world, and that's how we define our worth and value, and we look to the world to view us a certain way, so then in turn we feel like we kind of have worth and value. And high vibe would be you can be victorious and successful, you can have money and status and image, but it's the fact that you know that you're a just and fair and loving person is what's the most important thing about you. And you have more to offer people than, you know, your looks or your status or your money, right? For other people, that might be all they have to offer. And that can be because that's what they think makes them important. And love isn't really what's that important, they don't think. So we have the Knight of Cups and the Emperor. And the reason that came out is because of the Hermit. Well, in shadow, some people are hiding the truth. They're trying to present themselves as a very mature person. The Emperor would be above a King of Pentacles, that I've learned lessons in all four suits of the deck, male or female. I've kind of run my life into the ditch, letting my heart run my life, letting my mind run my life, letting my worldly nature, letting my more immature, passionate nature run my life. And I've learned lessons in all of those areas. Some people really have. They did the inner work. They really are who they say they are. But other people are trying, in the Knight of Cups of Pisces energy, trying to create an illusion that that's who they are also. High vibe people are making offers to work together with people who they also maybe just to get to know them, to know more about them, to figure out kind of what their truth is. Are they creating an illusion, or are they who they say they are? And some people right now could just be doing the inner work, because the Hermit card in Virgo can talk about doing this inner work to look at some things that we might not have known we even needed to look at, or kind of things buried in our subconscious. Why do I do the things I do? Why don't I do some of the things that I want to do? To kind of get clear about your truth and to offer love to yourself, maybe parts of yourself that you could keep hidden, because Virgo Hermit is about this inner work that we do to love and believe in ourselves. Because in high vibe, Virgo Hermit comes out with the pentacle truth, and truth is love. And so some people could be doing that work within themselves to work through any past pain, heartbreak, any fears, any insecurities, because they don't want to repeat old patterns and they want to deal with the truth because the truth sets you free. Other people could be repeating old patterns because they don't want to see the truth. So if they could keep thinking it's going to work out the way they want, but they keep repeating certain patterns that they might not want to see the truth of why they repeat those patterns, And part of it could be that some people just create an illusion about the truth of who they are. And again, people could be investing in other people, things that they find emotionally fulfilling, people they would like to get to know more. It's just that some people are being authentic and some people are kind of creating an illusion. Then we have the Page of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the one wand, Ace of Wands. And the reason that came out is because of the Tower. So high vibe people want to get to the truth and bring down an old foundation, an old way of thinking, feeling, viewing themselves, viewing the world, wanting to get to the truth. And because they want to have a new beginning in the Page of Cups, they want to be in more deep, meaningful relationships, and they're inspired to do things differently than they've done it. And if they have already tried to work with people in a more just, fair, loving way, and other people are like, kind of the Tower's like, no, that's not my truth. I don't want to work with people in that energy. Well, that can be really difficult. The Tower can be that it kind of really shakes up our life. Like, why aren't you willing to work together with me in a more just or fair, loving way? And, we can be confused about it. And so that's when people do this work within themselves. I don't want to keep staying like upset or unstable or ungrounded or feeling kind of chaotic within myself. So I'm going to invest in doing this work, and the Emperor is Aries energy, which is about the self. I'm going to do this work within myself to kind of love myself and offer love to my own. The fact that something happened in my life that could be quite disruptive or shocking or even that I feel is kind of unjust or unfair. And I'm going to offer love to myself and that situation to get to the truth. And accept the truth. High vibe energy is kind of like getting out of your ego. If this isn't someone's truth, they don't want to move forward in this way, and they're not working together with me in a more just and fair way from love, well, then I need to see the truth of it. And that can be hard because some people in our life could have presented themselves, or maybe at one time they were very loving and encouraging and seem very more stable and grounded. And they could have been, but, throughout our life, going down the path of life, we're either kind of drifting into the ditch or, making those decisions to keep detaching from being more about ourselves and repeating old patterns and trying to hide from the truth. And we keep investing and offering love to ourselves when we could get in fear and insecurities or things like that, to keep being inspired by love. And sometimes some people are doing that. And sometimes at some point in time in a relationship, maybe some other people aren't willing to keep doing that. And in this particular Tower, it's not blowing up. you know, sometimes it is like blowing up things that, for people that are in a workplace, friendships and relationships with people, that they feel those people were on the same page. I view them as loving and encouraging and supportive, and someone I view the Queen of Cups as Scorpio, so someone you can have a deep, meaningful relationship with. Though we all at times in our life could be tempted in a lot of different ways, even just to be about ourselves or indulge our more immature nature or be more about ourselves. If we hopefully have learned these lessons in life, we would appreciate that we have loving and encouraging people in our life who have our best interest. And if we in turn love them, the high vibe people have learned that lesson. Though I can be kind of tempted to maybe in the Page of Cups be more immature, indulge my more immature nature, try to hide from maybe being more just and fair or something. I've learned to offer love to the situation. That's like high vibe energy. If something is going on, I offer truth and love to it and make good decisions in my life, offer love to try to work together to work that out. But I can only do what I can do, and other people are going to do what they're going to do. And with the people in my life who are working together with me in that way, I will, in the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Pentacles, I will keep moving forward with those people and investing in those people, because our truth, the Knight of Pentacles, like the Hermit, is Virgo energy. Our long-term goals and our truth of kind of what drives and motivates us is the same. And these are people that I feel I can keep moving forward with, that that we're all willing to go with the flow, all willing to take accountability within ourselves, all willing to offer, like, be inspired by love and truth to keep moving forward together. And, some people might make an offer to someone. Kind of the Justice card and the Page of Pentacles are kind of the overarching energy for the reading. If they view someone as being just and fair, and someone in high vibe, the Page of Pentacles can be that hopeful, believing spirit, and that in all three of their earth sign energies, and their Capricorn and their Taurus and their Virgo, they are more balanced within themselves. In our worldly nature, we can be kind of caught up in these things of the world or caught up in ourselves. But being more balanced in the Justice card of Libra, that people are balanced within themselves and they still have that more hopeful, believing spirit in love. And other people who feel that way want to be in a relationship with other people who feel that way, and they want to move forward with people who are in that energy. And hoping maybe as they get to know some of those people with the Lovers card and the Three of Swords, which the Lovers card is Gemini, this is Libra again, wanting to be in relationships with people who are motivated and inspired in their free will, because Gemini is about our free will nature, dualistic nature, are enlightened to the truth that it is about, if you're going to be in a romantic relationship, it should be because of love, not some of these other reasons. And that love is to be just and fair, and you're supposed to treat other people the way you like to be treated, and to get the justice they deserve. So with the people that are in our life that we are currently moving forward with in that way, we could have kind of seen the truth of people who that really doesn't seem to be their truth. And could have wished those people peace in the Page of Cups. Well, your truth is different. You're going to go do what you want to do. Might have some different ideas about what you think is just and fair, or how to treat people in friendship and relationship that could be different than what me and some other people could think. And so it's kind of letting those people go live their life the way they want to go live it and kind of moving on from them because you see the truth of it. And then to go invest in people who you do think and continue to invest in people who you think are more on that page. And then the Page of Pentacles can be that having this new beginning. And the Tower then can kind of be letting go of an old foundation. It could be the Ten of Pentacles could represent that you had a job and maybe there's things about that job that you didn't think was moving forward or wasn't quite just and fair. So you're moving forward in a new job. Some of you have already moved forward in that new job and you're working with people who are more on the same page as you, a little more tempered in their ego or something. And maybe some other people where you last worked weren't, you know? If this was like the Emperor, can be like a boss or a supervisor. If they're kind of, trying fire sign energy of Aries, trying to inspire people to work together with them and move forward in a more just and fair and balanced way, and being willing to be a student of life, being willing to, be flexible in a way. That's also the Wheel of Fortune, kind of go with the flow and everything doesn't stay the same, and put aside your fear of change or your more defensive nature to just be willing to be more of a student of life. And an employer or a supervisor could be kind of looking at the people that they've been kind of doing this with and kind of seeing who does seem to kind of go more with the flow, seems to be more balanced, seems to be more willing to work more cooperatively with people, less about indulging themselves or feeling they should be indulged, or more immature and or maybe unstable and unwilling to go with the flow. And because shadowy people can be people who, they kind of have these illusions about themselves and they kind of indulge their more immature nature, and then they can get in friendships, relationships, or jobs, and because they think that's just and fair, they think other people should think that's just and fair, and then other people they think should kind of indulge them. And the Queen of Cups could be kind of like loving people are like suckers to manipulate. And that because they're loving and encouraging and just and fair people, they do put a lot of work and effort to make things just and fair and move things forward in a just and fair and balanced way. And some people try to use that to their advantage, like, oh, but because you put in all this work and effort to try to be just and fair, and you can kind of stay in denial of the truth that I'm a little more shadowy or a little more prideful or a little more immature, because people kind of have mental conflict about seeing the truth and kind of telling those people, I don't think this is working out and we're going to kind of move on without you. And just like employees can do that in a workplace, people can do that in friendship groups and romantic relationships and family dynamics. Like, because you love me, maybe that, or you're a loving person, you have a harder time kind of accepting the truth that because you could think everybody's motivated and inspired to work together with people more cooperatively from love. And then as time goes by, you kind of realize that there's some people who it's like, they definitely don't seem to do that. They don't work together more cooperatively from love. And they might be a little more immature and a little more stubborn, and a little more prideful, and kind of think they should be indulged. And the shadowy people are counting on that the loving people will keep not wanting to see the truth. But, how long can you keep staying in denial of the truth? And eventually, the Wheel of Fortune can kind of be that the energy shifts, and, it's kind of like it's an injustice, right? And so the Tower card could kind of be like things happening, or like God making things happen to try to get people to see the truth. This is not just and fair. These people are not who they say they are. They are not acting with character and integrity. They're being immature. They want to be indulged. They want you to keep letting them move forward with you in some shape or form without them really either having to be more just and fair or authentic, or if it's romantic, actually do love. And it's kind of like shadowy fire sign energy. They could want to, and shadowy Pisces is like create the illusion that it's love, but it's not really love. And it's kind of more just indulging themselves in it. Well, how can you get the justice you deserve if you're in a relationship with someone who won't really do love because they hide that maybe they haven't learned to love themselves and they just want to be in a relationship for someone to love them, but then it's more about them. And they could have a lot of lessons to learn in life. And again, they try to present themselves like they are more mature, more balanced than they really are. And then you kind of find out the truth that that's not the truth of who they are. So, for some people who already got out of those relationships, you've moved on, you accepted the truth, you are moving forward, maintaining balance within yourself, loving yourself, investing in the people in your life who do work together with you in that way, and having this new beginning. The truth set you free. While you're doing that, some other people are repeating an old pattern. And they could be kind of surprised that other people were willing to kind of do some of this inner work to love themselves. And that can be with the page here, that more willing to work through whatever before could have kind of more manipulated you. Were you more manipulated because you wanted to manifest these things in the world, that maybe you didn't listen to your intuition, weren't wanting to see the truth about some people, felt unstable or ungrounded within yourself, hadn't learned to love yourself. You know, we all at different times can have things that manipulate us. So at all these different stages of life, at all these different ages of life, we had certain ways of viewing the world and living life. And then we go try to find other people in the world who are kind of on the same page, and we kind of like some of the same things, and we get in friendship and relationship with them. Well, sometimes when we go through a phase of life, there can come a time where some people during, generally, hopefully, if we're in kind of stable or grounded or loving and encouraging environments, hopefully at some point during that relationship, we might do some of this inner work to deal with some of our own fears and insecurities because we've been kind of dragging them around for a while. And we could know that it kind of stops us from moving forward in life differently, or feeling more balanced within ourselves, or loving ourselves, and again could keep us in more codependent relationships. And it could even just be things from our past. The Three of Swords can be pain and heartbreak that and some people do that work within themselves, and they offer love to all those issues that they could have kind of buried within themselves, and they periodically look at those things and they work through those things. They kind of come out in the Knight of Pentacles in Virgo with the truth. The Page of Pentacles, I worked through something. I freed myself from something that used to manipulate me. And now, that turns the wheel. It's like the wheel of fate starts to turn in your favor, because life is kind of about learning these lessons and going on this journey. And, shadowy energy at the big picture is represented by the devil, and high vibe energy at the big picture is represented by God and love. And we, as a human being, in our free will nature, have the free will to align with whichever energy we want to, and so does everybody else in the world. And, the only person, we can only take responsibility for ourselves, and other people have to take responsibility for themselves, but other people could have been more bossy or controlling or manipulative or unstable or ungrounded or unjust or unfair or immature. Just to accept the truth of it, everybody is where they were at, but I'm going to see the difference, the truth. I've come in contact with all these different people in the world since I've been a child, and some of those people were full of themselves. Some people were bossy and controlling. Some people were emotionally manipulative. Some people were emotionally immature. Some people had illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. Some people hid that they were very unstable. And, we were hoping things would work out differently with some of those people, and maybe it didn't, you know? And we just worked through all of it so we can let it go. It's like that happened, that was in my past. I see the truth that everybody was where they're at. That doesn't mean everybody's like that. I've probably had loving and encouraging and supportive people in my life, and I've probably had more bossy, controlling, emotionally manipulative, immature people in my life. I'm going to take that truth with me now as I move forward to get to know new people, you know, and see the truth that in this world of duality, which is Gemini energy, not everybody is motivated and inspired by love. And some people can look very stable, grounded, mature, male or female, but they're not, And so it's kind of to get to know people, be willing to, the pages is kind of like, and the Page of Pentacles is making these friendly gestures, to people to get to know them like you would anybody. It's just small gestures to get to know people. And then you live your truth and you interact with people in a way that you think is just and fair. And in high vibe, that would be that you're being authentic and you're treating other people the way you like to be treated, and not being manipulative or deceptive or prideful or bossy or controlling. And you kind of see how other people are. And kind of as you meet different people, you again might see some people that is like, yeah, no, I don't think we're quite on the same page. Wish you peace, but I'll be focusing more and moving forward more with the people who I do think are more on the same page as me. And that's what I think high vibe people are doing. Whatever friendships or relationships that you're in, the people that you do think are more on that same page as you are people you're going to keep moving forward with. If there's people currently in your life that you kind of realize, wait a minute, I think they want me to move forward with them, but I think they want me to let go of the truth. And I think they want me to stay in this job, friendship, or relationship. But their idea of what is just and fair is different than my idea of what is just and fair. And they might want me to be more codependent, or they are more codependent, or they want me to indulge them in their more immature nature, I'm kind of seeing. Or the truth is they could be in all three of their earth sign energies of Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. They're more about wanting to look like a boss in the world and have a certain status and image in the world, and maybe live. These are all three air signs, so if they harness them in a shadowy way, they think it's just and fair to live more from their mind than their heart, and that people should get in relationships and stay in relationships more for these reasons of the world. Because that's kind of more what drives and motivates them, or not loving and believing in yourself enough to stand up for it being more just and fair and authentic and loving, and give up that dream because you're more tempted by these things of the world. And shadowy people, if they've already had some people who we're trying to work with them and some of those people already moved on. They could be trying to repeat the same pattern with someone else. And if those people are kind of like, well, wait a minute, I thought it was supposed to be about justice and fairness and love, but you seem to be more wanting to indulge in it and more for the ego or the image, those people could be moving on. And then the more worldly, shadowy people will just go try to find someone else and hide the truth, maybe about why those relationships didn't work out. They have their truth. They have their idea of what is just and fair and how they want to live their life. And if that's being more about them, then they want to be more about them and try to get in a relationship with someone who will make the relationship more about them. If they like to be more emotionally manipulative, they want to try to find someone who they think they can emotionally manipulate. If they're more about status and ego and image, it could be to try to get in a relationship with someone so they would have the status, the ego, the image. You're either getting into a foundation because you're authentically inspired by truth and love, or you're trying to get in it for some other reason. And that everybody has the free will. It's just, it's unjust and unfair for someone who knows they're not motivated by to be more just and fair and loving and might be a little more stubborn and unwilling to admit that maybe they have some lessons to learn in life. Like, you should maybe have to learn lessons, but not me. Well, so long as they find someone else who thinks that way too. But to try to get someone who they know that's not their truth, but trying to present themselves like, no, we're on the same page, and then knowing that as time goes by, that they're not really going to invest in that truth. And that's when the other people could be kind of heartbroken because that's not your truth. But then they're hoping, well, I hope you won't love and believe in yourself to move away from me and go try to find a new job, friend, or relationship. And they keep repeating that pattern over and over. And some of them refuse to see the truth. I think shadowy people can try to trap loving people in a relationship with them. Well, I like that you're not like me. I like that you're more just and fair and balanced and loving. And I'm glad you're not more immature or prideful or manipulative. That's great. This is my idea of the dream relationship. Oh, but by the way, I'm not telling the truth about who I am. This is just an illusion I'm creating. And eventually you might see through the illusion when I repeat some poor past patterns and try to more manipulate and control you in a relationship, or be hurtful or unkind or unjust, or if I get in a relationship with someone who's loving and they're not motivated by love, if someone comes along who seems to have those things of the world that they want, then that relationship can go because they're more motivated by these things of the world, and it's really just more about themselves. And then people can be heartbroken to realize, I thought someone, was more motivated by a balance of things, but apparently they're really tempted by these things of the world. And that's kind of the universe trying to get you to see a truth that you weren't seeing. You are ready to move forward in life differently. They're not. They could have hoped that if they didn't move forward with you in the way that you wanted, it could be to see if it would more destabilize you and you wouldn't keep loving and believing in yourself. And they'd be willing to stay in a relationship with you so long as you give up this dream of being in more just and fair and balanced relationships. If it destabilizes you and kind of in the Page of Cups, that you'd come back and do the relationship with them and do it more the way they want, let's live a life of illusion. Let's create the illusion of how wonderful our life is, but it is more about me, or it is more about the status or the ego and the image, and I will enjoy the relationship, maybe try to work with you in a just and fair way, but I'm not doing love. And they could have been hoping that that would work, but it didn't. And some of the high vibe people moved on to get the justice they deserve. And then that can be a tower moment for those people. We have the free will to treat people the way we like to be treated, be just, be fair, be authentic, tell the truth. And some people decide, no, I think I can emotionally indulge my more immature nature of self. And I'm going to try to get the wheel of fate to turn in my favor by not being just and fair and authentic and loving and tempering my ego or whatever. And people can do that in different ways over time, but eventually other people can't stay in denial of the truth. I need to move on from this. This is not just and fair. And if that's how they want to live their life, they can go do that with someone else. I am going to let love and truth and love my own inner child nature, to love myself, to go get the justice I deserve. And I think justice then goes in your favor because you were willing to deal with the truth, accept the truth, get out of your ego. We can only offer other people truth and love, and they have the free will to decide if that's their truth or not. And if it's not their truth, we accept the truth, and it's like, well, then go do whatever you think is just and fair. But that's not my truth. So I'm moving on with the people in my life who do work together with me that way. So what's coming out for some people who harness some high vibe Capricorn energy that they might not see coming? A card not showing itself, and the reason is because of the Fool card. Well, for one, that can talk about that you're going on this new journey. So the truth sets us free. The Three of Swords comes after the Two of Swords, which can kind of be in two minds about something. Because again, we can have a hard time wanting to accept the truth about some people. We'd like things to work out the way we wanted things to work out. But when things keep not working out the way we thought they were going to work out, accepting the truth, the wheel of fate turns in your favor. I accept the truth. I'm no longer stuck. I can have love for people in my life, whether they're my adult child, brother, sister, mom, dad, long-term friend, or whoever. But if people aren't working together with me, being truthful, being just, being fair, working together in a more balanced way, then I'm going to kind of keep my distance from them, And I'm going to go on a new journey. And I'm willing to take that leap of faith. And so other people, it could be a tower moment for some people in the world as they see other people loving and believing in themselves. And if they were trying to manipulate or control someone, those people aren't going to keep repeating that old pattern. They're standing up for truth and love and justice and fairness, and they're moving on. And some people could be starting to see the truth. Aren't they coming back? I was sitting here waiting. I did these things. I thought for sure that was the way to get you to quit loving and believing in yourself. And I was going to go do this. And I was sure you were going to come back. And it's like, nope, I'm not. So when you were willing to take this leap of faith, it was because you were inspired within yourself. The Fool card is also Aries energy. It's also some Pisces and some Aquarius, which both can have to do with our dreams. Aquarius is air sign energy. Pisces is water sign energy. And they both can talk about our dreams. And so from our mind, there's these things that we would like to manifest, but emotionally, there's also things we want to manifest. And wanting balance, both the Three of Swords and the Justice card are Libra, represented by the scales of justice. It has to be a mix of both for some people, because high vibe energy is about justice, fairness, balance. That's how we move forward. most victoriously, right? And for some people, again, they kind of have this illusions about relationships that it should be more about them. They shouldn't have to do love. How about you do love and I do me? Um, you got inspired to love yourself to do this work. You made peace with the fact that other people love other things, make their life about other things, find other things emotionally fulfilling, not inspired to move forward in the way you're inspired to move forward. And when you detach from harnessing this energy in a more worldly, shadowy way, and when you did, you're willing to detach from people in your life that either wanted you to be in that more worldly, shadowy energy, or because they're also in it to some degree. And what some people don't know about you and other people getting to know you and as you're moving forward in your life is that you harness this energy in a more high vibe way. The Three of Wands, which is also Aries energy. So the Three of Wands can talk about, at one time we had this dream that we wanted to bring into reality. And we could have put work and effort to bring that dream into reality. And we thought it would make us happy, or things we invested in, or habits and vices and social activities, or whatever it was. And but with some of those situations, the one wand added to the Three of Wands is trying to bring things together, like in joy and celebration. Balance maybe emotionally between fire sign energy, kind of in shadow, can be more about being about ourself, and then the cups can be more about maybe love, and maintaining that balance that, yes, I have things that I want to manifest, and other people have what they want to manifest. And it's again working cooperatively together, maintaining balance emotionally between these things within ourself that we want and things in the world, but also kind of being maybe in more deep, meaningful relationships, and it's trying to find that balance. And you could have realized that with some people, you harness your Aries energy differently, kind of your idea of what kind of motivates and inspires you, and your idea of the dream life. And maybe before, you went on a journey to learn some lessons, and you did. You got more clear about what your truth is and your truth isn't. And you don't want to repeat some of these old patterns. You've let go of that old dream. You don't view life that way anymore. You look at life differently than you did before. And you could be more bold and brave and confident within yourself, less codependent, or looking to work with the world and things of the world or people of the world as thinking that's all you have to work with. You have your own unique talent, skills, and interests. You have your intuitive nature, your creative nature, and the divine to work with. And listening more, maintaining better balance within yourself, where maybe before you were a little caught up in yourself, like all of us were, and can be for the first 30, 50 years of our life, because there's so many things in the world that we have to learn lessons from, and kind of that we want to indulge in, and we're sure will make us happy. And then as we kind of learn those lessons, we keep making hopefully better decisions in our life, maintaining better balance within ourselves, learning to love ourselves, more willing to, it's kind of like the more practice we have at picking ourselves up when things don't work out the way we want, we kind of get better at maintaining balance within ourselves and being like loving and encouraging to ourselves, kind of being a good mother, father, coach voice to ourselves, instead of being codependent on other people in our life or getting in a relationship with someone for them to play that role in our life. And we learn to play that role within ourselves. And, we're able to pick ourselves up and keep moving forward, not giving up on our dreams. We just let go of a dream that we had because that dream can't come into reality with some of those people because we're not on the same page. You know, in our free will nature and our dualistic nature and what we think is just and fair, and in our earth sign energy, our truth is different. And some people can see the wheel of fate turning in your favor, and they still could have a hard time, some people, of listening to their intuition, or they're more tipped out of balance, more, again, kind of more manipulated by the world, by other people, by their fear, by lack some hope and faith and belief in themselves, or trusting in their intuition more. And I think our intuition was given to us as a gift to help us navigate in this world. But we have to work with it, just like we have to work with our emotions and our thoughts, so that those things don't manipulate us and we kind of become enslaved to them. Learning how to maintain balance, that's high vibe emperor. And internally, a high vibe emperor would be an empress, where you are maintaining balance within yourself, putting in work and effort, very stable and grounded and abundant and loving within yourself, and standing up for it has to be just and fair and balanced. And for that reason alone, some people will get out of relationships with you because that's not their truth. It's like, okay, well then my dream can't come into reality with you. I accept the truth of it. But that doesn't mean my dream can't come into reality. I just need to invest in people who seem to be more on the same page as me, and be willing to detach from this foundation to invest in a new foundation. And you're going on a new journey while some other people repeat an old pattern. What's coming up for some people who might harness a more worldly, shadowy Capricorn energy? Who might have a problem with taking a leap of faith and love, coming out from behind their defensive nature or their egoic nature, have a problem being more just and fair, have a problem maybe willing to learn some lessons in life, be more vulnerable or authentic, could be a little bossy or controlling and manipulative, some people. So what's coming up for them that they might not see coming? Yeah, you have a new dream. And some people maybe never thought you would let go of like an old dream or living your life a certain way. It's like people, not everybody stays kind of static and stuck repeating old patterns, but some people do over and over because they have fear of being more independent, living their life authentically, more maybe about conforming to the world. And as the high vibe people are moving forward in this energy, other people see you doing that. And there might be some other people who work through their own fears and insecurities, because everybody's dealt with people who could have worn false masks and a little more defensive, to, working with people and kind of letting down their guard. And there might be some people in your life who are willing to, based on maybe kind of having gotten to know you or watching how you're conducting yourself in your life. And it's like, you know what? I am willing to take a leap of faith with this person to just get to know them better, if nothing else. Judgment and the devil. Why? Because of the Ten of Swords. So shadowy Capricorn is represented by the devil. All of us have our more shadowy Capricorn energy, which can be fear, insecurity, lust, greed, living more from our mind than our heart, thinking it should be more about us, don't want to take accountability. The Ten of Swords is like, no. Because some people say, no, I am not willing to take accountability for my actions, but they could have been kind of bossy or controlling or hurtful or unkind. And they can always be surprised when people in their life who have maybe been indulging them eventually are done indulging them and call judgment on them. The devil card looks just like the lover's card in a normal Rider-Waite deck, but instead of an angel there, there's a devil there, and the people have kind of chains and shackles on them. It's restrictive, it's confining, it's limiting, it's not giving birth to anything new. It's maybe more out of reasons of the world to stay at that job or friendship or relationship, or more out of fear or codependency. And some people are saying, no, if this isn't more motivated and inspired by love, though I could have love for you, if you're not willing to take accountability for your actions, or if you are just more about you or these things of the world, then your truth is different than my truth. I've maybe already been in friendships and relationships with people who are like that, or want to go indulge in certain things, maybe to feel better, instead of kind of seeing how those things stop them from moving forward in a more balanced way. Well, I'm ready to move forward in a more balanced way, and I don't want to repeat some of those patterns. And they could always be surprised when other people do this inner work within themselves to free themselves from things that used to manipulate them, or people in their life who used to manipulate them, or try to manipulate their loving nature. But the more high vibe people in their life are going to call judgment on them. And they'll probably be sad, but they're unwilling to see the truth. So they'll probably go back and repeat this same pattern with someone else, hide the truth about why that relationship didn't work out, try to get other people to get in a relationship with them, to move forward in a relationship with them, because they want what other people have in the world. They have these things that they want to look like. They have justice in the world. The only problem is eventually, if they're not willing to be more just and fair, and if it's romantic, do love, eventually the other people in their life, that the next people they try to get in a relationship with, it's not going to work out. But it's like the devil keeps not wanting to see the truth, that it should be based on love. Well, I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. Well, then tell people the truth. You don't want to do love. You'd be willing to be in a relationship. You just, ultimately, they'll be surrounded by other people who also are willing to maybe live more from their mind than their heart in their Gemini dualistic nature. Hey, that's my truth too. I don't really want to do love. I want to be in a relationship. I could enjoy being in relationships. Shadowy people can be kind of loving and encouraging people to maintain balance kind of in a relationship. It's just that it's not about love. It's more either fear, insecurity, codependency, or for status or image in the world. And I don't think the devil will be happy about that, because I think the devil would like to try to trap an angel in a relationship with them. I want you to be loving, and I want you to let me be shadowy, and I want you to indulge me in my poor behavior. Well, I don't think it's going to work out that way, because that's an injustice. They can keep trying it, but if they keep trying it, other people are going to stand up for themselves and move on. And if you're not being truthful and authentic, then eventually people are probably going to listen to their intuition about that, and I don't think you're telling me the truth. And they're going to get out of the relationship. The people who listen to truth and love and maintain balance within themselves and don't repeat old patterns, shadowy people in your life who thought they were the boss of your life, I'm going to do this, and I bet you won't keep loving and believing in yourself. You beat the devil. You got out of your ego. You maintained balance within yourself, loved yourself, put your trust and faith in listening to love and intuition to guide you, to not keep indulging people in poor behavior, and you're set free. The other people are going to have to go repeat this pattern with someone else because the devil wasn't able to trap you. So there you go, Capricorn. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.